Daryl, I saw a really impressive case study you did on Google Shopping. You've kind of got some innovative things you're doing there. Can you show a little bit of what you're doing and how you guys are thinking about Google Shopping right now?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to do that, and I have a few screens to share with you. But
Is there a number of products roughly that this starts to make sense to approach it this way of like a minimum number before you try this strategy?
I wouldn't think of it in terms of number of products. I'd think of it in terms of number of conversions, because one of the things that makes this work is the automated smart bidding. And for smart bidding to work, it's a machine learning algorithm that works better the more data it has. And when we say data, what we really mean is conversions, because what the machine is doing is it's trying to predict your conversion rate and using that prediction to then calculate what CPC bid you need in order to hit your ROAS or CPA target. So it's constantly trying to create a model and create a prediction in that conversion rate. And the only way it can improve its predictive power, improve its model, is to test its predictions against real-world data. So that's basically the TLDR of that is more conversions equals more powerful machine equals better bidding, right? So like the more conversions, the better. I probably wouldn't try this ROAS tiering method if you're doing less than, say, 30 conversions per month. Ideally, I'd want to see 100 conversions per month plus per 30-day period. And at that level, then the learning speed of the machine really starts to accelerate. And then anywhere between 30 to 100 conversions per month, I'd say I'd probably give it a go, but might have just like a little bit less confidence that it's going to work out as quickly, or it probably will work out, but it might take a bit longer, right? At 100 conversions and up, you might see, like we did, results in a week. Whereas between 30 to 100 conversions, it might take a number of weeks, even a month plus, before, after you make the switch, the machine dials in and learns how to bid properly. So you might see variable results for like a whole month, right? And at 30 conversions or less, it might take 2 months plus to get the results you're looking for, and it might also not ever happen as well, because you might have divided your campaign structure too granularly and prevented the machine from being able to create a really strong model to predict your conversion rates.
Yeah, those are really helpful guidelines. Thank you. Daryl, you've been so generous with this. Do you still have time to show us the inside of an account a little bit?
I do indeed, yeah. Sorry. Happy to do that. Let me do the screen share again. So I've got the inside of our skincare client where we tried this. Let me just maximize that a bit so you can see. And okay, so what we're looking at here is just the revenue over the past couple of months. And this point here is when we started the shopping ROAS tiering experiment. So you can immediately see like the revenue was just kind of flat week on week for quite a while here. And then immediately we implemented this system, and in 1 week got a jump in revenue. And it's just continued to go up and up and up. And by the way, I cut off the dates before Black Friday, right? Because I didn't want to, obviously Black Friday is going to be an increase in revenue, but I cut that out of the dates so you can see that even outside of that seasonal increase, we're seeing a significant increase in revenue in shopping the moment we implemented this method. And just to get a clearer picture of the exact change, I'll show you. So the test started.
Can I call out one thing you did there too, Daryl? I think it's old hat for you, but for a lot of people, that annotation functionality might be new. We see that in Google Analytics, but you can annotate your Google Ads account as well when you're trying something new, see what effect it has after you make the change. I love that.
Exactly, yeah. So it's super useful feature. You just go to the graph here and you hover over whatever date you made the change, and then you go add note, and then you add your note there, and then forevermore. You can pull up all the different metrics. You can view the graph at different date ranges, but you'll always have the date right there. Super handy for analyzing, just visually analyzing the results of your tests, because you're going to see, oh, we did this on that date, and then all the lines went up or all the lines went down, and then you can just kind of see visually whether that thing worked or not. Yeah, we started on the 20th of September, so I will do date range 20th of September, and I'm going to switch on the compare feature, so you can just compare that to the previous period. And I just wanted to show you that, yeah, so like conversion value right here for shopping campaigns, you can see increased 205%. ROAS increased 16%. Impression share went up 20%.
And can I, this is phenomenal. Can I call something out there? So you were scaling up, you were spending more for the client, and ROAS was going up?
Yes. So it's one of those like dream scenarios of revenue and ROAS going up at the same time. And if you're experienced with Google Ads, and if you've been doing Google Ads for a while, you may have hit that point where it's now very difficult to achieve both revenue growth and ROAS growth at the same time. Normally you have to prioritize one. And when you prioritize one, the other one's going to stay the same or maybe even go down a bit. So when you see the results of the testing, both revenue and ROAS have enjoyed an increase, then you know you're onto a winner. Yeah.
That's great. Impression share went up. It's also just interesting to see kind of what are your default columns and what do you look at? This is great to see. I love this.
Yeah, yeah. I love to have, so something that I always advise people is just, because these columns here, impression share, search lost IS due to rank, and search lost IS due to budget, they're not up there by default. And I think everyone should just have those by default, right? I think like most e-commerce biz owners are used to having their ROAS column up. I think right next to that, you should have impression share, and then you should have search lost IS due to rank and search lost IS due to budget, because it's really hard to understand your overall profitability and how much money is left on the table or not by just looking at ROAS. You need to look at ROAS in conjunction with impression share, because you know a really high ROAS might look good on its own, but if it's a really high ROAS and you've only got a 1% impression share, then it doesn't look so good anymore, because you know that if you let the ROAS come down a bit, you'd still be profitable and your impression share would go way up, right? So these two columns, I think, need to be looked at the same time, at all times. And then when you then look more closely at impression share, you then need to look at it in conjunction with these two columns as well, because if you're losing impression share, like here we've got a 71% impression share, so we're losing 30% impression share. And there's two reasons why that
when you say losing, you mean you're missing out on?
Yeah, we're missing out on 30% share of the market. And there's two reasons why that can happen. Either you need to bid higher or you need to increase your daily budget. And then that's what the next two columns tell you. So if you see a number here, it means you need to bid higher. And if you see a number here, it means you need to increase your daily budget. So in this case, as is always the case with campaigns that we run, the search lost IS due to budget is 0. Because I don't think you should ever, if it's a profitable campaign, you should never be losing money due to your daily budget being too low. The only valid reason for a profitable campaign in a profit maximizing account to be losing impression share or missing out on impression share is not bidding high enough. And it's okay to not bid high enough if your ROAS is already on target, right? Like in this case, the ROAS is 2.78, and the target ROAS in this campaign is 2.75, right? So we've got a tiny bit of room to bid higher. Like we could bid a little bit higher and let that 2.78 go down to 2.75, but there's not much room to wiggle there. So that's why we accept that, you know, it's very rare to get 100% impression share. But like 71% impression share for a non-brand campaign, that's superb. That's excellent. Like normally I'd be looking for 99% impression share and up, ideally 100% if it's a brand campaign. But for non-brand, I think 40% impression share and up is great. And if you're looking at 60 to 70% impression share for non-branded stuff, that's superb.
Wow. Thank you for walking us through that. That's just a gold mine. You've obviously spent a lot of time doing this. You're very experienced with it. I appreciate how you think about it. This might be a dumb question, but when you're moving products then between those campaigns, are you doing that just totally manually? Is there a trick to that, or that's kind of, you're kind of going in and spending some time on that piece?
Yeah, so at the moment we're doing it manually. And as we scale this out, and also as we look to bring this method to clients who have many hundreds or even many thousands of SKUs, automation will be required. And we've got plans in the works for developing a script to automate this process. But we're not quite there yet. And normally I like to test the heck out of our methods first before developing the script, because once you develop the script, it's much more difficult to change it than when it's like a manual process. So we're at the stage now where it's like more manual testing needed, more clients needed. We've done this for a few clients. We want to roll this out to all our clients, and then a few months down the line, sometime next year, I imagine we'll develop an automation for this that allows you to just set in your tiers into a spreadsheet and then have the script just divvy it up and keep those tiers distinct for you.
Wow, pretty impressive. The big flare Google Shopping method. Is that what you guys are going to call it?
I think this is one section of the overall Big Flare best practice. We call it our playbook. We have a process document in our company wiki that we just call the Big Flare Shopping Playbook, and this is like one of the sub documents of that. Yeah, there's a few other documents that go with it.
Daryl, you're obviously just an old seasoned pro here. It's beautiful to see what you're doing. Thank you for coming to share. Who's a good person to reach out to you, and how can they find you?
A good person to reach out to me is anyone who's looking for help scaling their paid traffic campaigns for their e-commerce store. And you can reach out to me at bigflare.com. So there's a contact form on that site, or there's a place where you can just schedule a call directly with me. If you get in touch on the contact form or schedule a call button on that site, it goes direct to my inbox. So we can schedule in a time to call from there.
Love it. Daryl, thanks for getting up early and coming on to share what's working in e-commerce.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.